Hi, everybody. I'm Brian Duffy. Welcome to this edition of 19 Newsmakers. This is a show where we bring people in who are shaping the future of downtown Cleveland, of Northeast Ohio, people who are making decisions that are going to affect our long-term future and hopefully our short and long-term success. Today, we have Michael Deemer, the CEO of Downtown Cleveland, Inc. Michael, thank you for being here.
Thanks for having me,
Appreciate it. We're going to put you on the spot here for 20, 25 minutes and find out what's going on in downtown Cleveland. And Michael, when I look at your website, what I see is Downtown Cleveland's mission is to attract talent, jobs, residents, and investment. How is Downtown Cleveland, Inc. doing in attracting those qualities to downtown Cleveland?
Well, Brian, I appreciate the opportunity to be here today to talk about my favorite subject, downtown Cleveland.
Right.
It's what I'm passionate about. It's what our organization is passionate about and focused on building up every day. A couple of months ago, we released our State of Downtown report, and we are very excited about the year ahead, and the next 3 to 5 years we think are very, very important to downtown Cleveland. I'm active in the International Downtown Association, so I'm in touch with colleagues across the country on what's going on in downtowns, and I feel so good about how downtown Cleveland is positioned heading into this year in the next 3 to 5 years. We're leaps and bounds ahead of so many cities and so many downtowns when it comes to transforming our central business district into a real neighborhood. We're attracting jobs. We've got investment across downtown, not just in a pocket or two, but across downtown in the Gateway District, on the riverfront, the lakefront, Playhouse Square, the Warehouse District, the Flats, and everywhere in between. So we have a lot of things going for us. We do have challenges, and we've put forth a greater downtown vision that is focused on improving safety, connectivity, and activation to drive more growth in the core.
We're going to talk about some of those challenges, but it's the investment really that I see in what that's where it starts, the investment in downtown Cleveland. And I saw $5 billion in public and private investment. Where is that investment? What can we walk around downtown Cleveland and say, okay, this is the latest investments we've seen in the city of Cleveland?
Yeah, well, one of the marquee examples is right on Public Square with the brand new global headquarters of Sherwin-Williams. Take a walk through the Gateway District where we've got Cosm under construction, new apartments at 700 Prospect. There'll be a new park later this summer at Meet Me Here Park across from Rocket Arena.
Right.
Down on the river, we've got the Cleveland Clinic and Cleveland Cavaliers Global Peak Performance Center. New investment on the lakefront with the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame expansion, a new police headquarters in the campus district. And I could go on, but I think the point is we see investment across downtown that is boosting confidence in what we have here and attracting more investment on top of that.
And so what is the interconnectivity between all of this? Is you know, the Dan Gilbert's, what they're doing with the Cleveland Clinic and the Cavs there, and the mayor's shore to core to shore, and that's an interconnectivity thing. And you mentioned the word neighborhood, which is always kind of a word that sits in the back of my head, and I when I'm in downtown, I'm trying to get the feel. Am I in a neighborhood? So let's go there for a second. Is there enough interconnectivity between what's going on in downtown, and if not, how do we make that better? Because then I think that leads to the neighborhood feel. Am I correct in all that, assuming that?
You're thinking about it exactly the right way, because it's not enough to have nodes of development and nodes
something
of
over
activity.
here and something over there. Right.
I think we do need to do a better job of connecting downtown to really take it to the next level and having that neighborhood feel. You know, probably one of our best examples of that is the connection between Public Square and Playhouse Square with Euclid Avenue. Probably our most complete street, but we're working with property owners in the city to make improvements in the Gateway District, where we're hopeful we'll see a much stronger pedestrian experience that makes it more comfortable for people to walk from Playhouse Square through the Gateway District to Public Square. But that connectivity is central to the greater downtown vision, and it's central to creating that investment-ready environment that attracts businesses, people, and more investment to the core.
Some of it's there. I think some of it's there. I love Playhouse Square. But then I start thinking about the flats, and well, I don't know. So if I'm walking to the flats, if you know what I mean, I could walk down to the Rock Hall, and once we get the lakefront developed. So I think that is so important, and that's going to be a goal moving forward. I'm sure for you.
It's absolutely a goal, and it doesn't happen overnight. It's a central component of, again, what we call the greater downtown vision that focuses on improving safety, connectivity, and activation to drive growth. Safety is so important. We've got a summer of activation ahead of us that we're excited about. We want to program and activate our public spaces, but we keep coming back to this theme of connectivity. And one of my observations about what's going on in downtown is that we've talked about waterfront development for decades in the city, decades,
right.
And we finally see things happening on both the riverfront with Bedrock's investments.
Right.
I think we're going to see some cool things happening over the summer in the Flats East Bank, and of course, the plans for the lakefront are moving forward. We've talked about connectivity in downtown almost as long as we've talked about waterfront development, and that's really where we need to focus in. It's really where we need to work with the city, with businesses, with the philanthropic community to make sure that we've got the resources in place to improve the pedestrian experience, make sure we get the basics right. We've got the sidewalks in good working order, crosswalks, lighting, and then spruce it up from there with public art, more activation, great experiences. But the whole goal is to make it comfortable for people to walk from one end of downtown to the other so that residents, workers, and visitors want to be here. They want to come early, stay late, and choose this experience over other experiences that they could choose.
Choosing the downtown experience over other options, that is the mission of the Downtown Cleveland Alliance. So we'll take a short break, and next on Newsmakers, the importance of office workers coming back to the city on a daily basis. Welcome back to Newsmakers. Our guest today is Michael Deemer, the CEO of Downtown Cleveland, Inc., as we dig into the successes and challenges of the downtown Cleveland neighborhood. So let me start with this question first. Have we approached, or are we not there, or are we past COVID levels? And I'm not saying office space that's rented, because that some people may be renting their office space, but their employees aren't here. It could be somewhere else. Do we have office workers back in downtown Cleveland at a level pre-COVID, or are we better than that at this point?
I think we're at our strongest. This is our strongest year in terms of getting folks back into the office and working. We see it with Sherwin-Williams. We see it with PNC. I'm not sure that downtowns anywhere will ever get back to pre-COVID levels. And that's why you need all of the activity. You need residents, you need office workers, you need visitors. You need to have, now more than ever, downtowns need to be multi-purpose, multifunctional, and draw people in for all kinds of reasons and experiences. But office workers will always be central to the downtown economy and the downtown experience. And our theory of the case is that we need to make the downtown experience so compelling that office workers, whether they're mandated or not, they want to be in downtown Cleveland. They want to be here.
That's a hard job, though. I mean, that's hard to do that, isn't it?
It's a fun job.
Yeah.
I mean, we just
I'm not saying you're not up for the challenge. It's just
we just launched our summer activation series.
I saw that.
That will program downtown Cleveland's public spaces with over 300 events, music, food trucks, farmers markets, movie nights. There's going to be something to do on top of all the arts and culture and sports that we already have pretty much every day of the week in downtown Cleveland. And the goal is, we started talking about vibrancy. The goal is to just create that constant sense of vibrancy, to encourage a constant steady flow of foot traffic throughout the day, into the evenings and through the weekends, and bringing it full circle back to office workers. Office workers are so important to driving that daytime foot traffic. And daytime foot traffic is important to small businesses. It's important to making sure that we've got places that are open for lunch, and those places are then here as amenities, not just for office workers, but for residents, for visitors, for conferences and conventions as they're exploring Cleveland as a place to do business. All of that is important to the amenity base, and it all goes together. So it's difficult to single out any one thing that's like the most important ingredient. We need all of these things working in concert together to create a vibrant downtown.
Okay, so in a vibrant downtown, and that always brings me to the word that always sticks in my head is neighborhood. Okay, and right away, when you think of a neighborhood, you think of, I live here and I can get everything I want right here. And I think that's what for some people is a sticking point maybe about downtown. And then I read one of your reports, which by the way I told you before we even started this, it's fantastic. Go to the Downtown Cleveland Inc. website, and I'm telling you, you could lose yourself in there. But you said that retail in downtown has to be right-sized, or the report did.
Yes.
But on the other hand, downtown residents are underserved by retail. What does that mean? I'm hearing two different things there.
Yeah, well, I think right sizing means that we need to have an amenity base that downtown residents and workers can meet their daily needs by shopping in downtown Cleveland. But it also has to recognize that people's shopping habits have changed. It has to recognize the reality of e-commerce. It has to recognize the reality of delivery services, and that's a central part of how people access goods and services these days. So, right sizing means making sure that we've got the right amenity base in town, the right mix of businesses for residents and office workers and visitors, but that we don't overcompensate and set retailers up to fail by not taking into account how people's shopping patterns actually behave. To give you a great example of what we're looking for in terms of shops and retailers in downtown Cleveland. That same retail strategy you cited recognized that the types of business owners that are going to be successful in downtown Cleveland are those that are looking to open like a third or fourth location. That have figured out how to operate one business, that have figured out how to operate a second business, and that sets them up for success. So we're looking for regionally successful retailers. They're looking for that third or fourth location that are providing the types of goods and services that residents and visitors in particular are looking for.
I hear what you say. We can order all that stuff online, so it's not necessary. I don't think that's keeping people from moving into downtown. Oh, we don't have sporting goods, and we don't have that. But a place like Target could help, and I know there's one in Steel Yard, but you got to drive to Steel Yard. So, is there a chance to get those type of components? Is there a dry cleaner? Is there something like a Target? Or, I mean, you can order toothpaste, and I'm sure lots of people are doing that. Is that what's going on? Do we need that to make downtown a neighborhood?
I think we need places for people, more places for people to meet their daily needs, and so we have some examples of that. So, for example, we've got a CVS, we've got a Heinen's, we've got Constantino's Market, we've got DGX around the corner as examples of places where people can meet their daily toiletry needs, food, all those sorts of things that you need on a day-to-day basis. We'd like to see more of that, more places for people to buy clothing, buy soft goods. We do need to see more of that, but we've got the beginnings of it, and those are examples of why I think we're so much farther ahead of similarly sized downtowns heading into the next 3 to 5 years. We've got the beginnings of a strong neighborhood. We've got a strong residential base. We've got the beginnings of the basics of an amenity base. We need to continue to build on that. And again, these things all go together. The more residential density we build, the more job density we build, the more visitor foot traffic we have, the more attractive we're going to be for more retailers to provide those needs. And at the same time, the more we have some of those things, the more attractive we're going to be to workers and residents.
The highest foot traffic is Saturday and Sunday.
Yeah.
That was a little surprising to me. Is it surprising? Is that how downtowns this size are working now? There's more people in the downtown on a Saturday and a Sunday than there are during the week?
It's not surprising to me because we have so many visitor amenities in downtown, entertainment venues, people coming down in bigger numbers on the weekends for theater, for concerts, for ball games, for dining. So not entirely surprising. I will say I think the goal for our downtown and for any downtown is to have steady, sustainable foot traffic at more constant levels throughout the week, during the day, in the evening, on the weekends. And that is where, going back to the office worker question, that is where continuing to have more office workers coming into downtown, more jobs choosing to locate in downtown is very, very important, because that's a central piece of driving daytime foot traffic and having more consistent activity across downtown.
And that downtown experience has greatly improved by every metric in the last 15 years. We'll take a quick break, and when we come back, a look at how Downtown Cleveland, Inc. is working to keep that momentum. Welcome back to Newsmakers. Our guest is Michael Deemer, the CEO of Downtown Cleveland, Inc. Downtown Cleveland is growing in population, but Tremont and Ohio City, Lakewood are drawing in new, younger residents. Is that competition good for everyone? How does that game go right now for you?
Well, I think maybe starting there, I think growth in the city neighborhoods surrounding downtown is healthy for downtown.
Yeah.
You know, as we're recruiting retailers into downtown Cleveland and marketing downtown to retailers, you know, we market that there's over 30,000 residents within a 5-minute drive of downtown. So, you know, as we see Ohio City and Tremont and other neighborhoods surrounding downtown grow, that's ultimately good for us. I think as we look at demand for downtown living, I think we do not see a drop-off in demand for urban living. We, you know, over the course of the last decade or so, downtown has consistently absorbed between 400 and 500 apartments a year. So, you know, if you add 1,000 apartments in a year, it's probably going to take 2 years or maybe a little more to fill those apartments up. And I think we're in one of those cycles right now where we've added a lot of supply. Demand needs to catch up a little bit with the supply, and we'll see another round of projects go forward then. You know, I think K&D recently acquired the Rockefeller building and is planning a renovation there that'll probably hit right on time. You know, it'll probably take a couple of years to get that project together, and we'll be in need of new product as that building is hitting the market. And at the same time, we need to do all the things that we've talked about in this interview to continue to stimulate demand, attract jobs, improve the public realm, improve the connectivity, so we've got the kind of place that people want to be in.
And maybe 85% occupancy rate, I know that's a little down, but maybe that's not always a bad thing, because you mentioned this kind of goes in cycles. Maybe that brings rents down a little bit and gives an opportunity for people who are like, oh, I don't know, I could go to Ohio City, or I go to Tremont, or I go to Lakewood, or I could go, you know, to Willoughby, you know, where a lot of young people are moving. Maybe this spurs people to say, okay, I'm going to give downtown. It's a little bit, there's the rents are down a little bit.
I think that's very real. I mean, affordability is top of mind across the community, across the state, across the country. One of Cleveland's competitive advantages, and I think one of downtown's competitive advantages, is that we do offer a relatively affordable cost of living at a very high quality of life.
Right. Done a great job in the city. There, at one point, it just seemed like, my gosh, every time you turned around, well, we're turning this building into apartments, we're turning this building into apartments, we're turning this building into apartments. There was a lot going on. Is it still a good environment? At the same time, there's a market reset.
Yeah.
So, and then it said you believe that was an advantage. Why is a market reset an advantage? Because I'll ask this: if interest rates are high right now, why do developers want to come here? Why would a developer want to come here with high interest rates to buy and repurpose these buildings?
Well, I think anybody's a fan of high interest rates.
Right. That's where my question came from.
But I think even in a difficult national economic environment in downtown Cleveland, because we are in a down real estate cycle, and you can acquire buildings at a lower point of entry.
There's the difference.
You can acquire a building at a lower rate and reinvest capital to upgrade the buildings, to attract businesses if it's an office building, to repurpose it for residential or hotel if that's the play. But the advantage of a down real estate cycle is that it lowers the barrier to entry for more buyers and more investors, and positions them to be able to invest capital that may have otherwise been invested in the purchase in upgrading the building.
Okay. All right, that makes a lot of sense and answers the question. I'm going to switch gears real quick to something that some will see as a negative. The Browns have left downtown. I saw, again, on your wonderful dashboard, that they brought in the fourth most visitors into downtown Cleveland. The arena, the Guardians, and I forget what the other one was before the Browns. How much is that going to hurt downtown Cleveland?
Well, it's no secret that I'm disappointed about the Browns' decision to leave downtown. But I think what we're focused on, and I think the opportunity that we have here in the next 3 to 5 years as the Browns transition out of downtown, is to really double down on making downtown the place of choice. You know, we want to make sure that downtown is the place of choice to stay at hotels.
If you're going to
a ball game, that downtown is the place of choice for residents, for workers, so that this is downtown remains the place to be, and that's the place to go to a ball game. But this is the place to be to enjoy yourself and then go to the ball game.
Right. That makes sense. Final question. Everything we've talked about boils down to one thing: safety.
Sure.
Is downtown Cleveland safe right now? Because if I don't feel safe walking out the door here to take a walk down, and I loved it, and you mentioned at one point Euclid is maybe our most finished street. I walk to Euclid Avenue and walk down to Public Square and walk back. Yeah. But I feel safe. Yeah. Is downtown safe?
Yes, and we take safety incredibly seriously. We've talked about all the factors that make for a vibrant downtown.
Right.
We did jobs, residents, amenities, connectivity, activation, but it really begins with safety. All the good things that have happened, all the things that we want to see happen in this downtown and in any neighborhood, it all starts with safety. And we feel really strongly about the investments that the city has made in improving public safety. You asked about the relationship with the mayor and his safety team. We're in constant contact with the mayor, his team, the chief of police, the public safety director, the downtown commander, to make sure that we've got great responsiveness and great coverage in downtown, and that we do. We have a downtown services unit through the city of Cleveland and the Division of Police that has over 25 officers dedicated to downtown Cleveland. We have downtown safety ambassadors that are on duty 7 a.m. to midnight, 7 days a week, 363 days a year, to improve that sense of safety. And we have close coordination among all the law enforcement agencies that have jurisdiction in downtown Cleveland. And I will say, I think the city has done a terrific job, along with the county, at making sure that there's great coordination among local, state, and federal law enforcement. So there's so much going on behind the scenes to make sure that downtown is safe. And I think as folks come downtown over the summer to enjoy our activation series and other events, they're going to see a very visible police safety presence, and they're going to see a lot of evidence of all the work that's gone into making downtown a very safe neighborhood.
Okay. Michael Deemer, Downtown Cleveland Inc., CEO, thank you so much for being here. Your candidness today, we appreciate it, and hopefully we'll see you back back here very soon. Thank you.
Appreciate the opportunity, Brian. Thank
All
you.
right, that's going to do it for this edition of Newsmakers. New edition drops every Monday at 6:30. Thank you so much for watching.